Do.
Best bit of the show. Best bit of the show, that is.
That's what
Everything else is downhill from here.
I always wait for your bit of you when you come on, and I'm hoping to catch you singing, Cole. I'm hoping to catch you singing.
Do.
Anyway, the boys are back in black. There we go.
Back in black. I've got my favourite shirt on tonight.
You have the original third kit, Cole. The original.
Bought it for a tenner. What a result.
Yeah, we both had hair and a waistline back then, I believe, as well.
Yeah, well, yeah. My hair's going the wrong way.
Speak for yourself. Anyway, mate, how you doing this week?
Yeah, I'm all right. As you can see, I'm back in the boot room.
Yep.
After being in the cupboard last week.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it's, you know, you showed me the screen grab behind last time, which you did share, I think, last week on the show. Yeah. But it was good. It was good that you didn't cut out too much, Cole. We only had a little bit of drama last week. But what would Don's Unplugged be?
It's funny. 42 shows ago, I'd have been panicking, but I was just sat there laughing.
Now we just roll with the punches, mate. We just roll.
We do. And we ticked someone in absent tonight.
I think so. Yeah, James is at it again. Cole. That's what happens, right? You pay peanuts, you get monkeys, apparently. But there we are. What can I say? I mean, bless him. His little one's not too well, apparently,
he's making the bed as well.
He hasn't had his tea. Yeah, he hasn't had his tea. He's just finished work. So there we go.
And they've got to get the house ready because they're having viewings, apparently. They're selling the house.
Apparently. Yeah. So, no, good luck, James. Hope it all goes well for you, mate. And no doubt we'll see you at some point. Craig says good evening. So, I mean, we'll get onto the agenda in a minute, Cole, but we'll go for some of the good evenings.
But we are talking about that later.
We are, Craig. I'm not going to say my lips are sealed like Zippy from Rainbow until we get to that point. But, yeah, it's a very, very valid point. We've had another one here from Reese. Reese, thank you very much for joining. He's actually joining us live tonight, Cole, rather than paying the
mean?
Well, because of the catch-up, the BBC iPlayer catch-up.
We're on. Yeah. Excellent.
So, yeah. Carrie Ann has joined us on the YouTube as well. She says, evening, everyone. Evening, Carrie Ann. Thanks for joining us.
Carrie Ann. Thanks for joining us again.
AJ Clement says, evening, legends and Colin.
He loves that. Yeah, you love saying that, Ashley. Love it. Yeah.
I love you saying that as well, Ash. Thank you, mate. Good to have you on. And it was quiet last week without Colin at Stadium MK, that's for sure.
Apparently, a lot of people said that.
They did. Matt's joined us as well. He said, evening, lads. I'll take the blame for the loss on Saturday as I forgot to wear my Don's Unplugged. Matt, what are you doing?
Outrageous.
I'm sure if you wear it again on this weekend and we win, that's it. Every game,
that's it. Sleep in it. Yeah, all the way to Wembley.
All the way to Wembley would be nice, wouldn't it? Well, beyond Wembley, hopefully, mate, because I don't need the stress of the playoffs. And Grant has joined us as well. Evening, Grant.
I've got a large glass of red wine here.
He has. He's going very, very French Chateau Rouge, isn't it? That's the one. There we go.
Chateau Wellingborough.
Yeah, that's the one. Evening chat from Stephen. Stephen, thanks for joining. Guess who's joined us on YouTube, Colin?
Whoa!
Sheila. Back on YouTube this evening. She has
and number one fan.
She is.
We all get Sheila a T-shirt with that on the back. Don's
well, we've got some Don's Unplugged T-shirts coming next week.
So you keep telling me.
No, they're in the post. They're being delivered next week.
Excellent.
Shit. So we will be showing those on next week's show, hopefully.
Excellent.
Matt said, love the retro shirt, Colin.
It's a beauty, isn't it? It is a beauty.
I've got those in the cupboard as well, but they're hard to find now, mate. They're really hard to find.
Yeah.
We've also got a good evening, everyone, from Karen. Karen, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Evening, Karen.
And also, Harry. Evening, Harry. Thanks for joining, mate. I know it was a tough week for you last week, mate. And again, we were all thinking of you. We're still thinking of you, mate. Don't forget Grimsby before the game. Come and see Colin Knight at the Casbah. Yeah,
I'll be there about 2:00, Harry. Come and get you. Oh, there's 3 people actually.
There is
that rode at. So, but they never. I don't know why they're not coming to see me. So
we'll need to get one of those huge flags, Don's Unplugged flag, Colin. Stick it in there. Stick it in a post in the old. What do you call it? What's the old garden tables and chairs? You put the old umbrella in. One of those things. I forget what they're called. You know what I mean. The thing you plonk the umbrella in. One of those. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
That one there, and then a few good evenings on the Facebook as well. So we've got Stephen saying evening all. Chris is saying evening lads. Any chance of us starting this at 8 halfway through EastEnders? No chance. What EastEnders for, Chris? This is far more interesting.
You can watch that on BBC iPlayer.
Yeah, we can get a drum and do the duff, duff, duff if you like when we get some sort of attention-grabbing moment, Cole. I guess.
Yeah.
Don Doyle, our Irish contingent, has joined us. Well, evening, Don. He said,
"Evening, Donny. I've got a cap for you as well, Don."
We have, Don. Yeah, we have.
None of your Irish boys come to see me that week.
They didn't.
So we couldn't give it away.
No, literally, we
got a cap for you anyway, Don.
Couldn't give it away. We
can't give them away.
Sheila is also on Facebook, so she is in tandem. And George has joined us, and Glenn has joined us as well. So evening, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping in. I guess we should talk about what we're going to be talking about tonight, Cole.
Well,
really.
show 43 for a start off.
It is 43rd anniversary.
Yeah, and I worked it out. I think we're playing. Can somebody tell me when show 50 is? I think we're playing Bromley that week. So I don't know.
What's that?
I might wear a shirt. I might wear a shirt and tie for that one, something like that.
Both of us have to turn up in a suit and tie. Is that what you're telling me?
Wouldn't it? Yeah,
there we go.
Have a bit of cake, something like that. Yeah, tonight we've got the Luke Payne review.
We have
about Grimsby. Yeah, Grimsby.
About Grimsby and the Walsall downloading the Grimsby thing. But I will say credit where credit's due to Luke. He did it in one take about 3 hours ago because he was on till 2 a.m, Cole. 2 a.m. doing fourth tier fever last night. Yeah, bless him. Yeah. So thank you to Luke. Appreciate it, Luke.
Somebody's already mentioned it, but did the ref bottle that second yellow card? We'll talk about that in a moment. I want to add one to the agenda. It's a little bit for the Grimsby. On Saturday, Crowley or Collar?
For me?
Simple question.
Yeah. I know who it is for me, but we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. Is that it?
I think there's some more, isn't there?
Yeah. Okay.
We've got signings, Colin. We've got the transfer.
We want to talk about that first half performance, compared to the second half performance.
We will do.
We'll talk about that. And we're talking about Kane Wilson. We signed Kane Wilson from Derby County. We'll talk about that.
And also the fact that the deadline day transfer window shut was probably the first in a long time, Cole, that we haven't gone and panic bought someone at the last minute that we didn't need.
What, like a midfielder or something?
Well, yeah, exactly. Or 11 midfielders that we did a few seasons back.
Yeah.
But like I say, it was a massively uneventful window.
Well, Toby Locke came on about 6:25 and said, "That's it." Okay.
It was, but yeah, I say
I'm sure
quite nice. It was quite nice.
I'm sure a few of us felt there was probably something else in the pipeline, but no, it wasn't to be. We signed Kane Wilson the day before. And that's about it, really. So, we've got a guest tonight from Grimsby, haven't we?
We have. We've got a special guest from Grimsby and also fourth tier fever host as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, again, that's Jordan. Jordan was on before, to be fair, so he's been on the show before, but we're glad to have him back.
Yeah, so those of you listen to fourth tier fever with Luke Payne, we've also got Jordan Richards on tonight from Grimsby. And we're also going to ask you, NML's away. Mendes Lang's away. He's on international duty with Guatemala. Yeah, well done to him.
And special mention, Cole, before we go any further, there were fans who came from Guatemala.
Yeah, I saw
to watch the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
Take some doing, and again, I would, if I had my hat on, I'd take it off to them, Cole. Because
if you had a hat, you'd take it off.
Yeah, it's not a short jaunt. Anyway, so quite a bit to go through tonight, I think.
So we're gonna be asking you what you think our setup should be on Saturday, because obviously Mendes Lang pencils himself straight in every week. So who are we going to have to replace him? So,
and also at the back as well. I know we've got obviously signers, but we're going to change it up at the back with injuries and new people coming in. What's going on?
Well, yeah.
What's going on? But quite a few things. So before we go into Luke's review, we've got a few more evenings. So Don said, "Nice one, Colin, for the hat." So, of course, it's a brilliant one, Don. It's a brilliant one. Ollie's joined us as well. Evening legend.
Evening legend.
He said, "Evening legends. How we doing? Lift my spirits up." Well,
I've got to say, Ollie, that was a very moving photograph of you standing there holding Tom's walking stick up.
Yeah, lovely photo.
Mate, that was a great touch. Great touch, Ol.
Yeah, really great touch. Really great touch. And thinking of him, we were thinking of Harry as well. So it was a difficult week last week with the news that we heard. And hopefully, as I say, it wasn't the result we wanted, but maybe this weekend we could get the result we need and have a real fill up at Ollie. And be nice, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be nice to win 3 or 4-0 against Grimsby when they just beat Man United, which would make us better than Man United? We know that.
I've got a nice question for our Grimsby guest when he comes on.
As you always have, Cole. As you always have.
I've got a lovely question for him.
The tongue going out. I was waiting for it, but I know what it is anyway. So
what you know what it is, don't you?
I think I know what it is.
Yeah, okay.
But Don mentioned.
See how he copes with it. Well, we didn't have to cheat to beat him.
I'm saying nothing.
Right, carry on.
Nothing. I said Don did mention that Devoy is off to Germany as well, so that is something.
What, on holiday?
No, playing football. Quite an interesting one.
Devoy's off to Germany.
Yeah, I mean, I did see it. I couldn't. Again, forgive me, Don. You'll remember. I think it was I think Carlsruhe or someone like that. I can't remember now who it was. Some backwater club you've never heard of, Cole. But
Carlsberg FC.
Not Carlsberg. That's Denmark. Where are you going? Anyway, there we go. Ollie said, "Thanks so much, boys."
Hofmeister.
Hofmeister's English now. It's English.
Follow the bear.
Yeah, very nice as well. I've got a crate of it downstairs.
Come on, we're waffling.
It is. Anyway,
no wonder this show goes on so long.
Before we go on to the next bit, Ollie did say Schalke. That was it. Schalke is where he's gone. And I couldn't understand why, because, I mean, they're a dreadful team anyway. They used to be a big team back in the day.
They used to be in Europe. Is that FC Schalke?
Yeah, FC Schalke. 04.
Yeah, well, they've been in Europe a few times.
They are. Ironically, I will be seeing their second string play my second string team on Saturday, the week after next. So maybe if Devoy's there, I'll get a chat done and get a photo. Ollie did say, "Thanks, boys. Think I need to carry the walking stick to promotion this year." Yeah, I've got the promotion cigar. You've got the cane. They're lucky. Let's hope for the best, Ollie. But hopefully, it won't be at Wembley. It will be with
that has got lots of money.
Exactly. Anyway,
that sounds like a line from a Pet Shop Boys song.
It does.
Yeah, I've got the cigar. You've got the cane. That has got lots of money.
Yeah, other Pet Shop Boys tribute acts are available outside of this show.
Oh, look!
I know. Sheila's in the East Wing. I'm the West. As if we'd expect any less, Russ. I thought you'd be in the Orangery, personally, Russ, but what do I know? But good to have you on. Thanks for joining us, Russ.
Yeah, cheers, Russ.
We've got Matt as well saying, I actually had the 13-14 home shirt arrive off of the eBay this morning. One of my favourite range of kits we ever did alongside this year. So, yeah, I'd say it was a decent kit, Matt, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, other than what you're wearing, Colin, I don't know what other ones really stood out for me.
Yellow.
I did like the 2016.
Yellow. I like the yellow ones.
The Araya 2016 with the gold cross bit here. That was one of my favourites. I like those kits. They were good. But yeah, quite a few good kits.
We did well in that yellow kit. We did.
Yeah. And then, Mr. Turner has joined us. Good evening, lads. Good evening, Chris.
Good evening, Chris.
Anyway, before we get into the nitty-gritty, I guess we should be putting on our Chris Kamara, Mr. Luke Payne's review.
How long is it?
It was enough time for you to go for a wee, if that's what you're worried about.
I'm at a funny age, mate.
You've been at a funny age for years, mate, but then again, so have I.
Go on then, roll the VT.
Roll VT.
Right, we've got another game to cover, and this time it is unfortunately our first league defeat of the season. It's, of course, the 1-0 loss to Walsall at Stadium MK. Now, the first half of this game, it wasn't great. I don't think it's necessarily as bad as some were suggesting. I think it was just a case of Walsall started fast. We didn't necessarily react particularly well to it, but they didn't actually create too much in that time. I know Lakin had a couple of chances, but aside from that, you kind of just had two sides that cancelled each other out. But still, 0-0 going into the break, and then second half, well, I think we improved immediately in the second half. I think it's going to be overlooked by the fact that we scored, that they scored in that time. But we've also got to remember that, probably not even a minute before that happened, Patterson missed what was ultimately a sitter. And then Walsall have gone down the other end and scored one after a turnover. in possession, which, what was kind of what I was concerned about with them. They do get numbers forward very, very quickly. And I think for the goal, it's just a case of our midfield just didn't track back quickly enough. I mean, Gilby ran the whole way with it, as he should. He lost the ball. But Collar and Kelly, for me, both could have been tracking back a whole lot quicker than they were. And I think we just left the defence with too much to do in that instance. We did create plenty of chances, probably more than enough to win the game. I think it just turned out to be one of those days. I'm not too worried about the quality of the chances because we were getting into the right positions. Ultimately, we had 13 shots inside the box. It's rare to do that and not score. So it's just a case of the shooting wasn't there, and unfortunately, even with the players we've got, that can happen sometimes. I am still looking at the performance, and I think that's going to give us more success long term if we can perform like we did in that second half every game. But ultimately, it's now about seeing how we bounce back. And we've got some very tricky games to do that with. We've got Grimsby next. And they're looking for a bounce back as well after their first league defeat as well. So that'll be quite the game. Bit of a shake-up as well with the internationals being on. So we've got no Mendes Lang. And I think they're missing... it's Cam Gardner and Tory as well. So it'll shake the squads up a little bit. And, well, we might shake things up even more because we've now got Kane Wilson, which I will just add is an absolutely fantastic signing. He's someone that I've been aware of since his days at Forest Green. And, well, without trying to be too mean to Gavin Jones, I think it's a big upgrade on him already, which I think is really saying something. We've got a very, very good player there. And debatably one of the signings of the window as well. Potentially, it's almost hard to pick between our own signings on that, isn't it? We've got Aaron Collins, Patterson, and so on. You could kind of name half of them really, but no, I think there's still lots to be positive about despite the poor result. Like I said, at this stage, it's more about the performance, getting the team to work together as a unit, and I think we're closer to seeing see us at our absolute best. I don't think we'll be too far away from that. So hopefully we can bounce back with a result. Come on, you Dons.
Yeah. I listened to most of that.
Most of it, what, from the toilet like that with one of those. What's that thing on a lower low? Do you remember the old ear horns you had?
Ear trumpet.
Yeah. Ear trumpet. That was it. Yeah. Madam Edith, wasn't it? No, not.
Oh, yeah. Madam Edith.
We're showing our age now, Cole. Anyway, but no, I mean, before we go into the decisions, overall, the game. What did you take of the game on Saturday? I mean, you watched it obviously on the stick of hotness. other sticks.
I couldn't say how I watched it, but I watched it.
You watched it. Anyway, what do you think?
I thought first half we looked like last season.
Okay.
That we almost looked like. I don't know whether I sort of muted this with somebody the other day. Excuse me. Do you think this lot think they're almost invincible, or
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know. The mind is a funny thing in situations like this. It's I just think we were knocking it about and hoping and thinking that something might happen. And obviously, if you ain't going to go through if you're just going to go through the motions and not really put the effort in, it's. And I'm afraid that was the first half for me. Second half, I thought we looked very good. We got caught cold. Like Luke says, for the breakaway goal, it took a nasty deflection to absolutely, do C-Mac all ends up sort of thing. Somebody said to me, "Why didn't he dive?" I said, "Well, come on, it caught a wicked deflection." But I think we created enough chances in that game to win it.
Yeah, I think so, Cole. I mean, for me,
Patterson knocked a couple down in the box, despite him missing an open goal, and then one hit Danny Crowley. It hit him. I don't think Danny Crowley expected it to come through and it hit him, but
it was. Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's going to sound perverse. So I actually really enjoyed the game, even though we lost.
I enjoyed it. I didn't
thought
enjoy the first half.
No. But I mean, I think I said like last week, for me, I didn't think it was going to be an easy game. I know they didn't go up, but they still had a decent bulk of a squad there with a few tweaks. I think they're a few away from being top 3 this season at the moment. I could be wrong.
Well, as you know, they were one of my tips to go up.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think they'll be there or thereabouts, Cole. And I thought they were well drilled. They're the first team that I think we've played this season so far that have challenged. And I think as much as they were challenging the first half and playing, relatively well, that was equally because we weren't playing very well. So I do.
They were hanging on at the end. I felt again
100%.
another team playing against us. Yeah, Roberts played well in goal for them. He made 2 or 3 really good saves. And you got to say Aidan Flint, but we always knew that Aidan Flint is one of them players that is going to, he's as good as 2 men, mate. Awesome. Just imagine if we got Aidan Flint up alongside Sanders, we probably wouldn't concede a goal all season.
That would have been nice. Goal would have conducted. But no, I think for me, it's like, even though we lost, I think second half we were much better. First half, like you say, I don't think we were as bad as last season. I don't know whether it's just complacency a little bit, or maybe they thought that, things would click a little bit quicker. But we certainly weren't at our best. That's for sure.
They couldn't cope with us in the second half.
No. But that proves my point, I think, is when we shifted gear for me in the second half, which we did do, if we'd have played that in the first half, I don't necessarily think we'd have lost that game. Whether we'd have won it is a different story, but I think we would have definitely got a point out of it. And I think we deserve one on balance, but they're the blows. There'll be times this season where we'll win a game that we probably didn't deserve to as well. So, swings and roundabouts. But I'd say.
And there was an incident in the game, wasn't there?
There was a few incidents in the game, but Mr. Referee, Cole, talk us through your thoughts as you had the bird's eye view.
Mate, I swear that guy put his hand on his pocket to book him. I swear, I haven't seen a replay since, but the reaction from the crowd when they realised who it was, and the guy had already been booked, and the referee almost had a no shit moment. Oh, I've got to send him off.
Yeah,
and decided he would go, no more of that, young man. Bullshit. Get him off the park. It was a double. Yeah. If he hadn't have been booked, that'd have been a yellow card.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he bottled it.
Agreed, Ash. Agreed.
And I agree with Ash's comments there about he said Offord's lucky not to see the first half of the challenge. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right there, Ash. I think it was red for me, Cole, but
again, it was as well.
Why the ref didn't, I couldn't get any logic to it, to be honest, because I thought, well, to your point, if he hadn't got a card, he definitely would have got one. So if he definitely would have got one, it's 2 yellows and he's off.
Yeah.
So it's a strange. I mean, so just bringing back Grant's comment there as well. He just said last 25 minutes on the edge of our seats. Same here. It was heart and mouth. I mean, as good as we were in the second half, I generally thought their keeper was up to it.
I think if we'd have scored one, we'd have gone on to win the game.
What's the one that I forget the was it Crowley or Pattis? I can't remember who they kicked it and he got it with his leg. The keeper got it with his leg. He just went down with his leg and then blocked it.
Yeah, I can't remember who that was, but
someone will tell us on there.
And
but
there was another one. He sort of went like that.
Yeah, I thought he played really, really well, and
good goalkeeper, Roberts.
Roberts is really, really good, and I honestly, I was really impressed with him. As frustrating as it was for us, I was equally impressed. I think again, if they didn't have the likes of him in goal, we could have probably got 2 or 3 that day. Weirdly,
yeah.
But it was just one of those, Cole. Like it was rolling agonisingly close. It went across goal. It just passed the post.
Yeah,
but
for me, didn't make their run.
Yeah, but even then, it's like we didn't play at our best, but we still created opportunities, which is a mile away or miles away from where we were last season. I think that gives you hope even in defeat.
I put in the notes for just minding your viewing that.
Yeah.
I felt that we're going to learn something from that result about ourselves. And I think Warren will come in and say, there you go. That's what happens when you don't bust your ass in the first half. I think that sort of first half performance will be a rare thing. If it happens again on Saturday, I won't believe it. But they should have learnt enough from that game to realise that you've got to put the effort in to get something out of it.
Yeah, and I think now the window's shut, now the team's settled. I think they'll get that connection with each other. They'll start to understand each other's style of play, what they're looking to do. And I think that will start to kick in more and more as the games go on, Cole. I'm sorry, Craig just said that he thought Walsall came up the traps too fast. Expect us to have the game in the second half, but we just didn't finish our chance. Yeah, I agree, Craig. I mean, it's their goal, dare I say, was a bit lucky with the deflection.
But I think it'd have gone down C-Mac's throat, mate, if it hadn't hit the deflection.
Yeah, and I think for me, when I saw that go in, I just generally thought to myself, it's going to take something special for us to get back in this, because it was just one of those just lucky shots. And it was. Ultimately, it came to that. I just thought we needed to do something special to get past Robertson, and we didn't. So, as you say, down to that. But I didn't walk out of that game frustrated, down in the mouth.
No, I think if we'd have played the second half like we played the first half, then I would have been concerned. But to play the way we did in the second half, whether you want to call it bad finishing, bad luck, or whatever, I think I saw enough in the second half for me to realise that we ain't going to lose many games like that this year.
No, and that's the positive takeaway, Cole, for me. Ultimately, I just felt like
and that is a good point from Matt at the bottom of the screen. It's a shame it took us going behind for us to actually start threatening. We did enough to get something from the game. It's all about how we learn from this and bounce back, which is what I've said. But somebody else pointing out to me the other day, this is not the first time it's taken a goal for us to get going.
Yeah, really true.
We should be hitting these teams early, hard, and fast.
Mm.
There you go.
No, I think so, mate. But again, like I say, these are the games for me. And I think I said to you last week: Walsall, Grimsby, Chesterfield. They're the benchmark.
Even at this season, they're defining moments in the season.
Yeah, they're now benchmark games. So depending on how we get on the next two games, if we get 6 points out of the possible 9 from those 3 games, I'll be happy with that.
Yeah.
But we'll see. But like I say, I felt more positive coming out of that. I thought most of the team second half had a reasonably good game. Just one of those, mate. Just one of those, to be fair. I'm going to jump back to a comment, because when we had Luke Payne's video on, Ash did flash something up to answer your question about would you replace Collar. Now, what he said is pretty much what I was thinking as well. He said with playing Crowley or Collar, I would play both with Mendes Lang away on international duty. So I think there's
I never thought of that, Ash, but yeah, that's a good point. But Collar, to me, is somebody that hasn't really shown why we bought him yet.
It's an interesting one, Collar. I mean, for me, Newport...
Does anybody think Collar's...
Yeah, I mean, for me, Newport...
hasn't shown it? I don't know. I don't think so.
No, I think Newport away, off the ball, I thought he was a lot better than he's been.
Yeah.
I thought against Walsall, I thought he was okay. I thought there was a couple of things he did okay, but again, still early days, and I'm willing to give him a bit of benefit of the doubt. But
he looks a weak link in the team to me.
We need to see something.
The funny thing about it is, last season, Collar, I don't think would have even been talking about him. That team was so bad, but because we have really stepped it up, I think we now, when we're looking at Collar and thinking he's the weak link in the team, that's how far we've come.
It is.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, like I say, for that matter, this time last season, he would probably been one of our better players, perversely.
That's it. That's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
We're in a defeat, you're always going to look around the team and think, well, why was that? Who could have done better? And I think Collar was one of those people that probably Walsall even targeted and saw him as a weak link. I mean, you ain't going to look at some of these players in our team and think, well, they're a weak link. They're a weak link. We have weak links all over the bloody show.
Yeah.
Gilby to Mendes Lang. What does that mean?
Craig, please elaborate. I think he means in terms of he'd have Gilby out wide, maybe Crowley in the middle. I don't know. But,
okay.
Craig, let us know.
It's just a measure of how far we've come that we're looking at Collar and thinking, Sorry, I'm reading the comments.
You're reading the comments, same as me. I know, stop, mate. There's a comment. Yeah, Herbert Murphy really struggled with the number 18 to the extent Lang swapped sides.
I will say something else as well. We bought on the main and we bought on Lecco, and it just shows you the difference between the Hepburn Murphys and the Mendes Langs, and then you bring on Lecco in the main. and they are a downgrade. I'm sorry to say it, but they are a downgrade.
I disagree a little bit with Nemain. I mean, to be fair, I think Nemain coming off the bench has done some good stuff this season.
But to be fair, he was played on the left. Was he played on the left?
Yes, yeah, he was. But I mean,
he's
to be
more
fair,
right-sided, isn't he?
He is, but I mean, you look at Barrow when he came on; he made a huge impact. In terms of the goal.
Yeah, but down the right-hand side.
Down the right side, granted. But I'm just saying, for me, I think he being utilised as a sub at the moment, I think it's raised his game because he knows he has to raise that level to get a chance of starting in that team. So I don't think he had the best of games on Saturday, but he didn't have an awful game. I think he did.
But again, he played down the left-hand side, and that probably never suited him, did it?
Didn't help him. Now, Matt said the keeper pulled off a great save for Mendes Lang. To be fair, yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did.
I actually agree with that. Sheila's just come back with one as well, and she said 18 should have been sent off. Yes, the tackles were nasty.
Yeah. Something else as well about when we're talking about officials. The throw-ins on the club red side were laughable.
Yes, they were.
They were laughable.
Yeah.
One of them,
yeah.
For those the uninitiated, you've got to keep both feet on the floor behind the line. Well, on one of them, he had one leg so far up, it was almost touching his backside. And he was on the pitch. They were comical.
He was. Yeah, sorry, I'm laughing because I'm recalling it. Yeah.
Toby Locke and Dicko were going mental at it. It was laughable. And the linesman wasn't even looking. Now that, in my eyes, is unforgivable. That's a fundamental part of their bloody job, surely.
It should be, Cole. It should be. But again, you look at the standard refereeing and linesman this season already, and not just here, speaking to fans of other clubs when we've been away, it's been the same all over. It's been the same all over, and it's just...
Well, we'll ask Jordan when he comes on.
We'll ask Jordan as well, but... Yeah. This is the struggle you get with League Two, and it goes back to the point. I still think that all 4 leagues should have professional referees across the EFL. It's the only way you're going to sort this out.
And I don't want to worry anybody, but on Saturday, our referees only had 8 EFL games, so he's a relative newbie as well, and he's got ginger hair, and unfortunately, Louis not playing.
Well, there you go. But hopefully, he could surprise us, Cole. He could surprise us.
Well, if Louis was playing, he'd probably give Louis a penalty.
Probably would, wouldn't he? Craig said, I think we might need Connor Lemonhead Evans in the middle against Grimsby. Do you know what? That's a good shout, Craig. I think, I mean, I've actually quite liked Lemonhead Evans, and there are games this season where he's going to be suited for that physical, approach, and I think this is probably one of them, to be fair. Yeah. It's going to be interesting because now the window's shut. Now we've got everyone we've got in. Who starts getting played? Where's the rotation? Because, again, there's going to have to be some with the injuries. We've had a few injuries already, but there'll be more, no doubt. And I just think, that midfield's an interesting one for me because there's quite a few different dynamics you could set it up with. The only thing I think we've missed, and maybe I'm being a bit too greedy, Cole, but I would have liked to have seen a central defensive midfielder. Defensive midfielder come in Offord can play that position, but I'd like to have seen just that for a different option personally.
I think there's one thing that none of us should forget. When me and you were sitting here this time last year, we could never have imagined the wealth of talent.
World away.
Gilby
is fine. Don't worry, Chris. It's all good.
Is that Chris Botwood? Bloody...
Again, Chris has said if it was Gilby's cross that Mendes Lang hit and the keeper saved point blank with his leg, that was the one. Save. Yeah, that was an incredible save, Craig. Yeah. I'll be honest with you. And again, after the game, I was speaking to a few.
When he hit that, my caravan nearly tipped over.
Well, there you go. I did speak to a few Walsall fans briefly after the game, but they were loving it. They're absolutely loving the fact that they beat us, and that goes to show the benchmark that we're the team to beat. That's
we are going to be a targeted club this year. We know that.
We know that. But I mean, it's like I say, Cole. I don't know. It's just one of those. I'd like to see what comes.
Is he writing things on there for a laugh?
Lego was lazy. I thought, exactly. Yeah, Leco obviously was lazy.
I didn't know Bobby was playing.
Indeed, Leco. To be fair to Chris, he's typing quickly. Predictive text, I reckon. What does he say? He said, there we go. Predictive text is the bane of my life as well, Chris. Don't worry about it, my friend.
Okay.
Thanks for the comments, mate. We appreciate it.
Jonathan Lego.
Jonathan Legger, to be fair, it's not far off the truth this season, is it? I will come to some Facebook comments in a minute, so I'm not ignoring that. But
Go on, do a few Facebook comments.
We'll do it. So obviously, Max is saying there he agrees that the main coming off the bench. I haven't been impressed with Lecco, so I haven't been impressed with Lecco so far this season. And again, Cole, back to your point, this time last season, he was probably one of those players we would definitely.
Mental.
Right? Anyway, Facebook
comments.
Arthur said, "Hi lads, chocks away. Air Vice Marshal Harris is here. Good evening, Air Vice Marshal. Thanks for joining, Arthur." Don says about the bottling decision. It was bottling, and that's being polite about it, Don. George says at times the second half still shot shy. Yeah, I mean it was one of those, wasn't it? I think we got to a point where we were just frustrated, and I think maybe they were overthinking it a little bit. It felt like it at times, but I think Craig said, last 25 minutes I thought we came really strong, and who knows if we'd have done that 10-20 minutes before the end of the first half, could have been a different story potentially. Don says Lecco was shocking, and again, that's a really polite way of putting it. I'll be honest, Don. I think he's been crap this season. Absolutely crap, and not just that.
I apologise for that language, viewers.
Mildly. It's not rude.
I could have said shit.
Well, there you go. I think for me though, Cole, with Lecco, it's not just the fact he's not playing well; it's body language. Watch when he comes on; he's like this. He's not coming on like G'd up.
Mate, I don't think we should. I'm not sticking up for him, but I don't think we should forget he had a year out.
He has been a year out. I'm not having a go at him. I'm just saying.
I think John Lecco needs to score an absolute worldie, and I think
which he can do, Cole.
Which I think you'll start seeing the best of him.
But like I say, body language for me. Just look at the body language. If you're going to come on, and I take all of what you say on board, and again, I don't disagree, but you need to have a positive attitude when you come on. You should be grabbing that chance, being G'd up. There are players on that bench that haven't had an opportunity, would be itching at the bit to take his place. So I think he needs to think about that.
Lecco has really got to grasp the nettle now.
He does. I mean, because again, John, we've seen it. We've seen it in League One.
In that leg, mate.
Yeah, we've seen it in League One. We saw it the first season in League Two, first few games, and at other clubs. He has got the ability, but he is moody. And he needs to just be. If he had that consistency, he could be lethal. That's the thing. Okay. It's a frustration, really. He's a frustration player because we know he can do it. George says at times, obviously we mentioned about the shot shy. Don said Lecco was shocking, and George just said, "I'm surprised Lecco has not gone out on loan. Just doesn't do it for me." Who knows? I mean, again, there's still opportunity by January potentially if it's not going well. Who knows? But it's an odd one. He's an enigma. That's the only way I can put it. It was the same as Mo Isa when he basically went to Exeter because he felt he was too big for League Two, and now he's playing in Iran. So again, it's just a case of mentality and the application to the game. If you can have all the ability in the world, but if you've not won it up here, what's the point?
Yeah,
what's the point for me?
Right.
But there we go.
Is that it?
So, yeah, that's it, Cole. I was going to be.
Should we wind it up?
No, not at all. Anyway, coming onto the window, obviously we didn't get Harry Kane through the door.
No,
but we did get Kane Wilson through the door. So for me, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I'll be honest.
I know jack shit about him, honestly.
No, do you know what? I was reading up and I was watching a few of his videos, and obviously I've known of him from his time at Derby as well. But I think that's equally as a landmark sign as Mendes, Lang, and Patterson for me.
Well,
I'm generally excited by it.
Yeah, what Luke Payne said, and if Luke Payne says he's kept his eye on him, and he reckons that's probably the best signing we've made this season, who am I to disbelieve him? I'm looking forward to seeing him on Saturday. I think he'll start. He'll
be bullish. I mean, again, he's one that likes to run, make trouble.
Likes to take people on, and he's quick.
Exactly. And I think at this level, and I mean to drop down 2 levels, because I still think he could have done a job for Derby, to be honest. Yeah. But again, they're changing and transitioning their squad a bit at the moment. Eustace seems to be dipping in Blackburn Rovers' whole team to get people, which is quite funny seeing the Derby and the Blackburn Rovers fans having a go at each other. But no, a lot of Derby fans on the forums, a few people I spoke to, Derby fans, all really rated him.
I spoke to a couple, and they said, "Oh, there's no way he's going to drop down to Milton Keynes Dons.
Exactly.
There's no way. He's far too good for you." And then they announced it, and I thought, "Oh, right, okay, bloody hell."
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm looking forward to seeing him on Saturday.
No, I am, Cole. And like I said, I think he'll give us something different. And I mean, again, this is the interesting thing when you get injuries to Thompson and Jones. You think, that's going to be a big blow for us. And it is. Let's not take away from that. But
Yeah.
you've then got, Wilson coming in. You've got, quite a few players I would say have come in across that transfer window who will get opportunity and probably find that when players are coming back from injury or when things have been changed out, they're going to find it hard to get their place back. And that's again.
But you need players fighting for positions.
You do, but that's again for me the night and day of last season. We were struggling to find players to field an 11 that were any good last season.
Well, how many times did we stand there and look across? We were losing 1-0 or 2-0 or whatever, and you looked across at the bench and you thought there ain't a game changer on it. No. But now, I mean, when we get Collins back, and we get Maguire back, and now we've brought in Kane Wilson, and we got John Mellish last week.
Mellish is good. I thought he was.
We got Ekpieta a few weeks back before that. I think when we click, mate, we're going to take teams apart.
Well, it's the excitement for me, Colin. It's the first time in crikey, how many years we've both seen it, but I actually feel like we've got depth and options.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. Whereas last season we brought players in, but I don't think we had the depth of options. It was lopsided because it was just what we could grab. That's basically been our MO for most seasons: is free transfers, cheap, what we can grab and hope it works out.
Did you see that? Did you see that there was some sort of a ratings thing for the first month of the season?
There was, yeah.
And we've got 3 players in that, 3 former Dons. Strangely, one of them is Jack Tucker.
I saw that. And he scored on the weekend.
And he scored at the weekend, Unbelievable. I can't believe it. There you go. Can't believe it. There you go.
Well, I mean, to be fair, this is the thing. I as a lad, and we knew him from a personal level, speaking to him as an individual. Jack Tucker, as a person, is a really lovely bloke. I had no problem with him. I generally liked him. I just didn't think it worked for him with us. That's not to say that
there was something not right, wasn't there? He wasn't fancied at all, was he?
He wasn't, and I mean, to be fair, I'm pleased to see him do relatively well at Colchester. And again, the same as Jack Payne's there. There's that again. Another player a few seasons ago, we would have both been like, we need to keep hold of him. Now you're not even thinking about players like that because of the level we've gone.
No, but I do, and I'll tell you, and you've seen who the League 2 top scorer is, haven't you?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about
that. What, Matt Dennis?
I have said to you and everyone when we let go of him last season, stupid mistake. I said because whenever he came on, people said he was lazy, but he scored goals.
Yeah,
and I could not fathom for the life of me why we got rid of him. Couldn't fathom it.
There you go.
But he's proven people wrong, which I knew he would do, Cole. I knew he would do. Yeah. So, I mean, again, it happens. It happens. I just hope that doesn't come back to haunt us when we play Notts County. I fear it may well do, to be honest, but we'll see. We'll see. Don just said Tucker 2 goals in 2 games. So, yeah, I mean, again, I think he's found – I don't say to sound derogatory, not he's found his level, but I think he's found his style of play with the Crowleys in Cowleys.
Let's be honest, he was a bit of a fan favourite when he first started, wasn't he?
I mean, like I said, Cole, I like him. I think he's a nice guy, but just one of those things that players come to us sometimes it just doesn't work. And I think he had a few too many errors in him personally when we saw him, which is frustrating. Because when he came back, when Lindsay was there, if you remember, he started to play quite well, and then
he did, and then he went off badly, and then like you say, just disappeared after that.
But I wish him well. And same as with Jack Payne down at Colchester. I think they'll be up there, Cole, this season. I'm not, I've been mildly impressed with what they've done so far, but I think they could be top 7 or 8 this season. Again,
only 40 games to go.
Only 40. Not too many. Anything can happen, right? Also, Walsh keep us very lucky not to give away a few coins in the second half.
Good point, Ash. I thought that. There was one I had the cowshed counting. They got to about 10.
Well, they did. I mean, again, ref bottled it for me on a few of those decisions. There's going to be a point where someone's going to get called on that. And then that sets a precedent. So I'll be interested to see what happens with it, Cole.
Yeah.
By the way, our esteemed guest is in the green room, so we will bring
Jordan's in the green room.
We'll bring him in shortly. And we'll congratulate him as well for the impressive. I really enjoyed that game against Man U. Probably he didn't because it was nail biting, but it was a good game. And well done.
I'm looking forward to talking about that game.
I know you are. So am I. Ash has also said here as well. One for Colin. Good to see 2 Kanes in the squad, but no Undertaker.
I get that. I get it.
Boom. I appreciate that one as well. Oh, there we go. We've also got one from Craig. He said, I might be a lone voice here, but I think Hendry would have given us more off the bat. I don't disagree with you at all, Craig.
I wouldn't argue with that.
Disagree with you at all. I really liked Hendry, and I was really sad to see him go.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that.
Interesting. To be fair, I haven't looked how he's done at Motherwell since he's got there. I don't know if he's done much at all. We'll have to have a look into that. Go and find out. Anyone knows, let us know. But he was a good player.
Where did he go?
Motherwell.
Motherwell,
Scotland, yeah.
Anybody knows, let us know how he's getting on at Motherwell. Is he starting?
Yeah.
Has he scored?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Again, he's one of those, who cares? He put a shift in, Cole, and having for one season.
Right, okay.
Yeah,
somebody let us know what's going on at Motherwell.
Well, yeah, exactly. Who knows?
Probably Ashley's probably Googling it as we speak.
Ash is our guru. I'm sure he'll come to us and let us know at some point on that one.
Have you heard from James yet? Has he made the bed?
Who knows? Who knows? Sheila said that she was sorry to see Hendry go.
Yeah.
Ash has also said here, so Lecco seems a bit lost. Lost a bit of pace since his knee. Probably has. I mean, again,
and confidence.
Yeah, and again, not to compare apples with onions because they're completely different players in a world apart. But if you remember when Michael Owen had his injury, a few years, many years ago now, he never came back quite the same player either. So it can affect you. Yeah. Although if Lecco had a tenth of what Owen had back then, I'd be ripping his hand off. But again, I'd love to see him do well, Cole, but just a frustrating player, as I've already said.
Yeah.
John's joined us. Evening, John. He said, evening, boys. Just tuning in. What have I missed? Give me the full rundown, please. Well, you can watch us on YouTube and play.
Well, I've got a question for you, Mr. Taylor. How's Russell Martin getting on?
Indeed. How is he doing? But there we go. What was it? The one is it Russell Sprout, Russell out if you take the B and the SP off of the thing. I think it was that one.
Who decided to give Lecco a new contract? Warren must have seen something in training, yeah. Probably a fistful of 50s.
Do you know what, Craig? You say that. I mean, for me, I feel like we signed at the beginning of the window. And maybe it was a bit of like, well, we don't know when we're going to get in, so better the devil,
Yeah, that's a good point.
If he had a contract and it ran out in January, would have renewed it now? Conjecture. I don't know if we would have done it.
I don't think we probably would.
No. So we'll whisper a few of these comments and we'll bring Jordan on. But I wonder if Lecco's stropping again like he did under Alexander. I think so, Matt. Remember when he got subbed off that time and was slamming stuff on the floor and kicking stuff. This is my point. He is such a moody player, but if he kept that mentality in a positive way, he could be phenomenal. He could be. But again, it's the same as Chucks and Ike, who is actually a free agent as well now. He was quite stroppy at times.
Lecco and Hogan, a right pair.
Wow. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm sure they'll be in someone's first 11, but not mine, that's for sure. What have we got next? We've got Stephen. He said, if Jones didn't get injured, would we still have got Wilson?
We'll never know.
I mean, again, to be fair, probably being guaranteed first-team football is part of the deal, I would imagine. Yeah. With the quality he is. But, I mean, again, Warren's gone off the players he knows.
Warren knowing he was available, regardless of getting Jones' fitness or injury
you'd bring him in.
I think he'd have gone for him,
all day long. Ash has said about Tucker, I had the hard act of following Darling when he left for Swansea, 100%.
Yeah, because everybody looks at him as the new Harry Darling, and he certainly wasn't that.
Yeah, it's not fair. If Dennis was still here,
and that's correct, Dennis, Alan as well. If Dennis was still here, he'd be on the bench anyway. I think you're right.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Difference is he'd come off it and probably put it in the back of the net, Cole. But that's the difference, right? That's the difference. Jack says Hendry has played about 20 minutes of each of the first 2 games. No goals or assists yet. So there you go. Thank you, Jack, for the Motherwell update. And then just a few ones on this one. Arthur said on Facebook, what do we think about the Dele Alli situation? Obviously, he's been released from his contract.
Oh, behave yourself, Arthur.
If he was going to make a comeback, probably this is the closest he'd come to it. But I don't think he'd get in this team at the moment. And that's no disrespect to him. But
there's a couple of issues here. How much would you pay him?
Pay as you play, and it would have to be, wouldn't it?
It'd have to be pay as you play. It'd have to be. And I'm not sure about the rules and regulations about taking a player on a free transfer, because you have to, isn't it 23 players?
Man squad. Yeah, we're one over from him.
23
I think
man
we got
squad.
24.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah, but I mean, we've got the option of farming out Tripp and Waller still to the National League, because
I think
they're
they'll go. I think they'll go.
yeah, so they'll probably still go. So,
yeah, and then so Mick said, don't forget Matt Dennis. No, we've mentioned that, Mick, as you quite rightly say, 2 goals in 2 games. But yeah, I mean, I'm pleased for Matt as well, to be honest. Andrew's joined us. He said, how long is Collins out for? A week and a half, Andrew. So he's not that far off. When I spoke to him,
to be back for the Chesterfield game, didn't he?
Chesterfield game, he said to me. Yeah, when I spoke to him. And again, a really lovely guy, really lovely, down-to-earth guy. And what really impressed me, Cole, with him being injured is he's at every game. He's really willing on the team. He's willing on Patson. He really wants the team to do well, and that's really nice touch.
There you go, Aidan, friend of the players.
I wouldn't go that far, but he's a decent guy. We've chatted to him quite a bit now. He's quite
you've already put that up once.
I know I did. I was pushing to get that one, but there we go. Anyway, let us bring in our esteemed guest and talk about all things Grimsby, Cole. Because
poor old Jordan.
The first thing will be congratulations to the team that made League Two proud not so long ago, beating Man United. Evening, Jordan. Thanks for joining.
Good evening. Thanks for having me on again, guys. You okay?
Yeah, good.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad.
I'll reiterate it.
Right.
Here's a pub quiz fact for you. Which 2 teams on this show have beaten Man United recently? And, you think, us and you. There we go. There's 2 teams. It's an easy job, right? It's an easy job. No one takes that. Yeah.
Aidan.
Go on.
At least we didn't need to cheat to beat them.
Oh. Brutal.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
But no, sorry, Jordan. I'm only pulling you. You know that. What's going on about that? Do you know anything? Have you heard anything?
It sounds like we've pretty much got away scot-free with that. Just a grand and a slap of the wrist. Because it's the
10 grand in it and 10.
Yeah, it's
10 and 10 in it.
It's 20 grand, 10 grand now, and then 10 grand suspended until the end of the season. There's been instances. It's happened a few times in this competition. There's been 3 times in the past that Cubs have been charged for that. Liverpool more recently. I think it was against you guys actually.
Yeah, bloody well was.
Yeah, and they weren't kicked out. So it looks like we're fine, and the night still remains. Thank God for that.
Well, we played. I believe we played Chesterfield. One of our statos that is watching tonight will remind me, but I believe we played Chesterfield and we were made to replay it.
We were. Yes, you're right. We were.
And we still lost 1-0. We lost 1-0 both times, but yeah, there you go. Yeah, so it looks like you've got away with it. Must have been an amazing night.
Well, were you there, Jordan? Firstly, were you at the game?
I was, yeah.
Couldn't make it.
That would have killed me if that was the case. But no, I was there, thankfully, and I'm sort of, my throat is still sore because it was a week today from it. I've been still struggling all week from it, but to spare you just like sort of everything really. I don't think I could have asked for a more special night. I think in terms of games at Blundell Park, in terms of atmosphere and somewhat performance against a top quality team, that's the best I've ever seen, and I think for a long time that will be the best I will see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not being funny, but I can remember when we beat Man United, and I think it took me about 2 weeks to get it through my head that we actually had beaten them. You know what I mean? I kept thinking that I must have dreamt it or something. So it was an amazing match to watch, an amazing match, and the penalties. You must have been going through hell.
Oh, it's just the fact that you were just going to and fro, and I felt like we were going to be there all night. It was just one of those situations in which the penalties were good, and despite Andre and Nana have other ideas, because I think if Man United had a more competent keeper, I think he'd have saved a couple of the ones that we took.
Oh, Nana, what a joke!
He wouldn't get in this team here. He wouldn't get in. He wouldn't even make our bench. Not a chance.
I'll be honest, Jordan. How does it feel being the team that's pretty much finished his career in this country because they went out and signed a keeper in the transfer?
There was a video that came out this week, and it said the 5 worst goalkeeping errors in something, and they were all Onana.
They were.
Well, I think with us, I mean, we've got something called the Grimsby Reaper, which is more based on managers. It's a shame that Ruben Amorim wasn't gone from that. But in the past week, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho, and Eric Ten Hag were sacked. So, a sort of, can we claim that? Can we sort of had that in a sort of way? I'm not too sure. We could probably do the same with goalkeepers as well. Let's just say United have now signed a new one. I mean, it can't be any worse. Hang
on. You got to answer that at the bottom, because I haven't got a clue where he's going with it. How many left-footed players did Grimsby have in their squad?
That's a good question. A few. We've got a few. I'm not sure at the top of my head, but certainly a few.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Ashley. It was in the FA Cup. Brilliant. Thank you. Right. So. I don't know where we're going to start. You had a brilliant night, obviously, against Man United. You haven't done so well last 2 games. A bit like us, Cock of the North. We thought, here we go. We're at home. We're going to win. You probably did the same. Bristol Rovers turned up, and, you lost 1-0. We lost 1-0. You lost 2-1 last night in very devastating circumstances. Andy Cook had been off for God knows how long, and then he pops up in the 6 minute of injury time or something, and you lose in the EFL trophy. So you'll be hoping to bounce back on Saturday.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm not going to really dwell too much on last night's game. I mean, look, for Grimsby fans.
Well, no, there's so many changes, it's hardly worth it, is it?
And the game was a little bit of a non-event in the end, ruined by the referee. We had 10 men for most of that. The red card was a shocker. It just never was. But look, I'm not going to dwell too much about that. But Saturday was frustrating to lose. I think it was sort of expected because of the night that we had on Wednesday. Obviously, quick turnaround, and we're still sort of high as a kite, so to speak, and that, and
the media circus that surrounded it.
Oh God, don't start me on that. I mean, I've already had enough of the media, but that's just what it is, isn't it? But honestly, that game on Saturday, I think we actually did enough to win the game. Truth be told,
right.
It was the first half an hour that really cost us. You could tell we were still so sluggish. You looked a bit tired, not just on the pitch, but mentally as well. There was load of players that were being asked for like interviews and obviously stuff like that from the media side. Obviously after Wednesday's heroics, so you can sort of understand it to an extent, but it was just one of those days in the end. The second half, we was sort of all over Bristol Rovers in the end. We huffed and puffed, didn't quite have that killer instinct. And
sounds very familiar to what we watched at Stadium MK, mate.
Yeah,
we were all over them in the second half, and people going the wrong way and saving it, and this, that, and the other. They got a deflected goal against us. So, seems like you went through it the same as we did.
Yeah, sort of. But we got done by a worldie of a goal, to be fair to the Bristol Rovers lad.
I saw the goal. Great goal.
Yeah, I think the halftime changes that were made really had a big impact. I mean, George McKechnie coming on, and even Dara Burns. I've been really impressed with him. If you really want to know what's been going on with Dara so far. Just couldn't quite find a way through. Bristol Rovers just sort of played the dark arts pretty well, and sort of just held their own really. But I was walking away from that more encouraged than I was upset. Obviously upset for the first half an hour, but again, you could probably understand it to an extent. But it's all about response on Saturday now. We need to get back on it.
Speaking of response, I mean, again, you've mentioned Dara. I mean, I was sad to see him go, Jordan, personally. I thought he was a player that when he was on, mostly in cup games, cup competitions for us, he did really, really well. So, I mean, didn't see too much maybe last season, but what have you thought so far this season in terms of the impact he's made for Grimsby?
Yeah, I think he's more for the fact that he's been involved more and he's taken his chance. Obviously, when we signed him in January, he had a couple of games. He didn't have many games between when he signed until the end of the season, and to be fair to him and to be completely honest, he wasn't necessarily poor, but he didn't really have much of an impact. I know obviously he was playing in Ireland and the Irish season is different, so he sort of just finished the season from there and sort of came straight to us. But he's had a pre-season, he's come back, somewhat beefed up a bit, and he just looks more confident. just sort of overnight. Really, he's having to go a bit more. He's having to go at defenders. He's got a cracking cross on him. He's getting in some good positions, and he's not afraid to take a man on. So I think he's sort of improved the braver side of his game now, and he's just sort of come back a different player. It wasn't the Darragh Burns that I saw in the few games he played last season, and I'm really glad to see it. It was always going to be one in which I think we needed a bit of patience on. He's still a young lad, and the fact that I don't think we sort of changed formation near the second half of the season, was more playing with 5 at the back. I know Darragh's played wing back a few times for Shamrock when he was there, but we've reverted back to more wingers since the start of the season. He's played most of the games there, and he's taken his chance, and I'm really pleased for him, and hopefully continue.
Excellent.
Now you've signed a lot of players. I'll be honest with you, there's quite a number on that list I'm not familiar with. But one I am more than familiar with, and somebody who I've always regretted we never went in for, was Christy Pym.
Yeah.
That guy, I reckon he's a hell of a keeper. I'm amazed he's never played at a real high level. I think he played about 7 or 8 games in the Championship, and that's about his lot. But he's a match winner for you, isn't he? I mean, he saved the penalty when it was sudden death, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. And I think, to be fair to Christy, I mean, I was excited about the signing at the time because since James McEwen left the football club, or even near the end of his spell, it was sort of quite shaky. I'll probably go as far as say club legend, but we've not had a goalkeeper for a while who is sort of confident. I mean, Max Crocombe's done all right ever since he's got his move to the Championship, and he was half decent for us, but he was just sort of near the back end of his time, he was just letting in easy chances and whatnot. And then the keepers we've had since, Jake Eastwood had moments, but weren't particularly great. Harvey Cartwright, he's a Grimsby lad.
You've sold all your keepers, haven't you? You've got a new deck of keepers, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, Jake Eastwood was out of contract anyway. So he moved on, and Jordan Wright was still in contract. He went to Newport. I think if the roles were reversed, maybe. I've always thought this. I think if the roles were reversed, if it was Jake Eastwood that still had another year in his contract and Jordan Wright was the one that didn't, I think we'd have maybe opted for Eastwood as maybe a second choice. But it depends what he would have wanted. But I was really pleased with the signing of Christy Pym. I think he's sort of okay. I mean, he's got good pedigree anyway around to end in League One. I think there was a couple of warning signs from Mansfield. I don't think his time there ended the best of ways. I think he was sort of out the team the last couple of months or so.
Oh, right, okay.
He's an experienced keeper. He's a half decent shot stopper on his day, and he's very good actually for how we want to play. He's a very good ball player actually.
Yeah. And he likes winding up the opposition, doesn't he?
He does, Cole. He does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, real experienced head as well. I think that was sort of the thing we were missing last year as well, just that little bit of experience. And I think we've got one. I think we've got a good one in him as well.
And I think overall, Jordan, looking at sort of the close season for Grimsby, obviously with Artell, doing some business there. What do you think of the signings he's made, the players that have come out and in? Do you feel like that's more of an improved squad this season? Do you see where Artell's trying to go with the squad?
Yeah, I think I was doing we were doing the League 2 ranking, transfer window ranking for Tier Fever last night, and I was very complimentary of the squad we put together. I think my biggest thing, if anything, I think we had a very good basis of a squad there. I think what really let us down the back end of last season was more of the depth, and you see the quality of our bench. There was quite a few times in like the last 5 games or so in which David Artell didn't use his bench. I got the impression that there was a few players on there that maybe he didn't trust. So I think it was always important that we just try to sort of just improve that. We've got sort of the deadwood out the door. Obviously, Denver Hume was the biggest loss. But we've replaced him pretty effortlessly, to be fair. We brought in 2 very capable left backs even that I'm very pleased with. Look, I think if you probably look at some of the signings we've made, I think Jamie Walker's an upgrade on the likes of Callum Amey.
Jace Cabia?
Jace Cabia looks like a real gem from non-league.
From Truro?
From Truro, yeah. I've really liked what I've seen from him so far.
And he's got 3 goals, hasn't he, so far, or something like that?
Yeah, but he could have had a couple more. He's missed a couple of penalties in the league as well. He's sort of been lucky to not be somewhat on par with Matt Dennis for goals in League 2 at the minute. And yeah, it's just more more experienced base. There's a lot of players in there that are maybe risks. There's quite a fair few youngsters in there. Quite a few players that we picked up from non-league, in which we're willing to give them a chance. And yeah, I think overall we have improved. But I think it's not just for the players we brought in; it's the players that we've managed to keep as well. I think are the big ones. I mean, Evan Corey was virtually ever present for us last season in midfield, and George McEachran is the big one. I was on about last night that I'm surprised he's not been picked up. I'm surprised for the lack of interest, all the public interest.
George McEachran's got a very important part in our history.
Does he? Yeah.
Yeah. And he's never played for us.
Yeah.
He scored for Colchester.
Yeah.
And it meant we went up.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah. I think I'm right in saying that.
That's right.
If I'm wrong, somebody will put something on the bottom.
No, I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Colchester against Rotherham.
That was it.
And we scored for Colchester against Rotherham when all Rotherham needed to do was get a win at lowly Colchester. George McEachran scored. We thrashed whoever we were playing. Yeovil 5-1. And bloody hell, that was a party. Anyway, I digress.
But yeah, no, as I say, because the last time we spoke, Jordan, obviously I know when we talked about Artel, you were kind of on the fence, like, where's this going to go? So do you feel like now you've had like the season on, you've had the transfer window, you've seen sort of how you started the season, do you feel more confident? Do you think like he is the right man to lead you to better things?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think my thoughts, and I think quite a lot of our fan base's thoughts have certainly been changed. And that was way before the Manchester United game as well. He signed a new contract in the summer, which I think was huge. I was right behind him anyway. I think there were little bits to it. Right, okay. I need to see maybe a little bit more, but I think certainly at the start of the season, in terms of how we tried to play football, the amount of attacks we're getting and some of the goals we're scoring, and the fact that we can still go up a gear in terms of our attacking output has been a joy to watch. And he's really bought into the project as well, bought into the town, bought into the club. You can sometimes you could just tell that a manager's got the best interests at heart, and David Artel has certainly got that. I think he's certainly starting to win more and more people over the fact that we're pretty much all behind him. It's the best sort of, I feel, in terms of supporting groups, because we've had some rubbish times. Obviously, we've had years in non-league and we've had terrible ownership, and we've been mainly down at the bottom end of League Two.
You see that comment at the end?
George Monkey.
But I got it all wrong.
I thought it was McEachran as well, Colt. So it's not just you. Go on. Yeah. Sorry, Jordan.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I think we're all just sort of bought into him now. We're all sort of behind him. He's just an excellent coach as well. He knows how to develop players, and I think for the players that, not even the players that are still here, let alone for the ones that they bought in, they've gone up 10, 20, even 30% maybe at times, and sometimes that's enough. I think some of the players under his management have shocked me more than anything, and that's just sort of the person that he is. He's the sort of person that, rarely, it might not look it on the touchline. He's very hot-headed at times, but in terms of his plays, he's great. He'll 9 times out of 10, he'll put an arm around you, he really trusts in those players to really do a job. And I feel like I've got the impression that players really do want to play for him, and they'll run through brick walls for him. And I think it's starting to rub up on the fans now as well.
Right, we're only 6 games into the season. Obviously, we're not even close to working out who's going to be a contender. But what do you think constitutes a good season for Grimsby this year?
I've always thought that we missed out on the playoffs by a couple of points last year. We were very close. I think we sort of, like I said, I think the lack of real squad depth, and I think for the fact we just sort of ran out of steam in the end. We just sort of fell apart in the last few games. But I've always stood by it. I think if we were just a few points shy away from reaching the playoffs this year, I think there's no excuse why we can't go and push on and try and make that top 7. I think that was always the aim. And I think we certainly started off that way. I think we're a good side. I really do. And I think already you can tell that we're going to give teams a hard time this year, and that's just not me being sort of big-headed or anything like that.
So are you looking at Saturday as a big test for Grimsby?
Absolutely, but I think, I think the Manchester United game proved it. We don't fear anyone. We don't fear anyone, and I don't think these players will either. They'll just see it. They'll just see it as another game. Yes, all right, it's going to be a difficult game. I mean, your squad is ridiculous. Let's just put it that way. So it'll be a tough test for the players, but I trust them to go and do a job. And there's always been times in which, being a Grimsby fan, I look at the games, certainly against the teams that have got like the better squads, like you lot, and I'm thinking, right, okay, how many is this going to be for MK Dons today? I don't think not. I fully believe that, or I certainly think now, I think my mindset is different. I think we can go to these sort of places and say, right, okay, we can give it a real good go. I truly believe that. And yeah, that's just sort of this. I think it's just trying to build on what we've done. I think we saw last season, as much it was disappointing to miss out on the playoffs, it was the fact that we even got close. I think it was like our league finish in like 19 years or something like that, which for a club like us, for where we've been 2 spells in non-league, is a big achievement. But we've got an ambitious head coach, got an ambitious group of players, and we've got some ambitious owners that maybe don't spend a lot. We don't overspend or anything like that. We try and find somewhat hidden gems.
I noticed you signed players from Spennymoor, Altrincham, Cordoba of Spain, Truro City, as we mentioned a minute or two ago. You got a few loans in there. You don't spend a lot of money, but like you say, certainly with Jays Cabia, who's hit the ground running this season with 3 goals, hidden gems. You can't deny it.
No, and I think that speaks to Artel, who have been, to be fair, Cole, we've had rumours of him coming to SMK.
Oh, yeah. He's been in the betting to come to us.
Yeah, and I think for me, that speaks to the type of manager you've got, the team, the setup that you've got. But, I mean, for me, at the beginning of the season, I had Grimsby down for like top 7. Jordan, obviously, they're one of those teams that I hate to play, and I mean that in a nice way, because I always know it's going to be a hard graft game. You've been in the game when you play Grimsby.
Grimsby always give me the feel that they're going to concede a few goals, but they've always got it in their mind they're going to score one more than you.
Yeah.
I could see you winning a few games like 4-3 or a stupid game like 5-5 or something.
Yeah, look, there'll be times this season where we might have that sort of game, but I can also see times, genuinely, from what I've seen so far, that will beat teams 4-5-0.
Yeah,
that's just what I've seen so far.
So a little bit of a question then for you: where do you think your strength is as a team, and where do you think your weaknesses are?
I mean, I think sort of the proof's in the pudding at the minute. I think going forward, we look a threat. I think there was a stat in like the first 3 or 4 games or such that we had like the most touches in the opposition box by a clear mile, or something like that. Where we get into some good positions, and we've got some real talents. That's some real intelligent players. I know we've mentioned Darragh Burns. I mean, it's normally been him and Charles Vernon on the wings at the minute. I mean, they're both off a bit of pace, bit of trickery, and they can cross in a good ball. Jace Cabia can run all day. Is absolutely rapid himself. I feel like we've got a very good midfield as well. I've got a little bit of everything. I think our midfield is more just a pure engine more than anything, with enough to sort of get you buying games in terms of that passing quality and even on the ball to find like the pockets of space. And I think in terms of weaknesses, I think we still look at defensively. I think we've improved in that department, but there has been a couple of shaky moments at times, albeit not many. I think stopping crosses again seems to be a little bit of a problem, including last night. But when you've got Andy Cook coming off the bench scoring, the youth teamers that we've had who did the club proud last night. I was really proud with some of the younger lads who played last night, and that's another thing. We're not afraid to give youth players a chance. Absolutely not afraid. If they're good enough, they're old enough, and they'll be in this squad, and they will get chances. But yeah, look, I think I could tell you a weakness. As much as I've mentioned about how good we are attacking wise, I think putting games to bed has been our biggest problem at the minute. I think I'm not overly concerned about that at the minute. I think it will come as the season goes on, as the players get to know each other more, and I think it's just having that ruthless streak, because there has been times. I mean, take that Man United game, for example. I know we had a goal ruled out wrongly for offside. I know we had one ruled out for handball, and that was, to be fair, that was probably right. But the game should have been done. The game should have been about 3 or 4-1. It shouldn't have really gone to penalties, really.
Yeah, when it went 2-2, you must have been
disallowed goal as well.
Your old backside must have been twitching a bit.
And Accrington the other week, we drew the game 1-1 there. It was a game in which Cabia had a penalty saved, and Evan Corey missed a sitter from about 6 yards out. So we get into some good positions. We're very capable of making something out of nothing. Sometimes it's just finding that killer instinct. Maybe at times it's lacking, but I'm not overly concerned just yet. But I've seen enough in it that I think it'll come. I really do. But it's just for now, maybe. That's just sort of where we are. We've got to get those chances to score it anyway. So.
So the way you're sitting at the moment, you reckon?
I think so. Yeah, and like I said, I'm generally not being big-headed or anything when I say that. I've genuinely seen enough. I think in terms of the games we've played already, I've gone. I mean, all the league games we've played so far, I think I've sort of gone and said to my mates, I think we've been the better team in all of them. I genuinely do.
Well, you won over at Walsall, didn't you?
I think Walsall were the best team we played so far in the league. You can tell what they're about, and they did look strong again. And I saw enough there to suggest that I think they could be fighting for it again. In terms of probably not.
Yeah. Well, they're one of my tips for the.
I liked it, but it was a proper result because it was a game in which it was sort of 50-50 at times, but it was us that managed to find a way, and that's what sort of good teams do in the end.
Right. Yeah, see, I had your top 7, but the last few games, and again, I've just because I'm sad, Jordan, but I've got this like league table. I've adjusted it every time, like every week to see where I think. Yeah.
Little paper
exactly that. And I've got Grimsby down. You're going to hate me, but 4th, just missing out on autos at the moment, because I think there's 2 or 3. For me, I've got us in no particular order. There's us, Chesterfield, and Gillingham. I think are in that top 3. If all goes to plan. But I really think that Grimsby's my dark horse this season. I thought you'd be there, but I've been really impressed with them. So I still think there's more to come, to your point. And speaking of strength, the midfield, I definitely see a lot of physicality there. But for me, obviously, this weekend's going to be interesting because both of us have got international headaches. So Mendes Lang is not playing for us. I think you've got Gardner and is it Toure who are out as well?
Yeah,
yeah. So I mean,
is that a big loss for you?
I think in terms of maybe the numbers that we are at the minute, perhaps would he have started the game? Probably not. I think because he sort of plays the position that George McEachran plays, and when George is fit and available, he goes straight in there, no problem. He sort of had games hard to come by as Geza Toure. He is sort of like McEachran in a way. Like he's very calm on the ball. He can put in a tackle. I think what I said to Luke actually the other day, I think he misses that sort of bark that McEachran has. And not say he's a bad player by any means, but he certainly could have maybe given us something maybe to short the game up maybe if we are winning that. And then Can Gardner, he's been in and out of the side. He's a young lad. He's gone to Scotland's under 21s, which is great for him. Coming through the academy. I mean, he's from Newcastle up north anyway, but he's been in our academy. And he was excellent against Man United. He probably gave Harry Maguire a really hard time actually for
he deserves it.
For a young lad, I mean, he's very physical, very tall, and he's a very fit lad. I think there's been quite a number of times in which we mentioned that in terms of like the fitness work that Town do at the training ground. He's by far and away the strongest and the fittest, which is a positive sign to see. But no, I wish him well. Would he have maybe played a part this weekend? Probably. I think we are sort of short on a few numbers. Still, I think there has been a couple of injuries. But yeah, they could have made an impact. But we have to make do, I guess.
Well, I suppose we've come down to the point. Go on, Aidan. Go on.
I'd say before we go into predictions for this week, it would be wrong of me, obviously having our esteemed guest, 4th Tier Fever host, just plugging the show for you there, Jordan, as well. But you guys obviously talk about all things League Two. Who do you? I mean, again, like Colin said, it's early days, but who are your top picks at the moment? If you were going for the top 3 and the bottom 2, from what you've seen so far, where are you thinking at the moment, just out of interest?
I mean, look, I still find it hard to put it past you lot to win the league, just in terms of squad depth. The players that you have, they're clearly way too good for this league. Let's not pick no bones about it. I've always fancied you. I've always fancied Chesterfield, very strong side, and I think they've really improved under Paul Cook. Very experienced manager. And I think I'd certainly keep an eye on maybe someone. I mean, look, Gillingham have started well, I think, but it's about how they can sustain it. I know they've been on like a 17-18 match unbeaten run, and you know what Gareth Fainsworth's football's all about. It's not the prettiest to watch, but gets results. It's perfect. And I think some of the players that they've got in their squad is perfect for that system. But I keep an eye on Bristol Rovers now. Obviously, they've had a very slow start to the season. They picked up back-to-back wins now, especially including us last week. And they've got some real good quality in their squad. They've got George's older brother, Josh, in their team as well. And just a couple of names like that. I think in terms of what I've seen from the bottom, I do fear for Cheltenham. Just at the minute, I've seen reports. I saw a tweet earlier that apparently Michael Flynn, the manager, is the washes the kits for the Cheltenham player because they don't have a kit man.
Never.
That's what apparently said. That was tweeted from one of their journalists, and I think
Why have you put a softener in it?
Yeah, and I think that same journalist actually put the other day on deadline day. He didn't specify exactly what it was, but it was on about some of the stuff that has been happening behind the scenes at Cheltenham shouldn't be a part of a professional football club. So already that raises a lot of alarm bells, and I don't even think their squad is that good, to be honest.
No, they were pretty. Yeah. They had a real crack at us, and unfortunately, it was the wrong thing to do. And they, as you know, they lost 5-0. But
yeah,
I'll put into your Cheltenham. I'll go for Shrewsbury. I've watched them twice this season. I thought they were dreadful.
Yeah, I thought Shrewsbury were dreadful because we played them in round 1 of the Carabao. It was a game we probably should have won by 4-5-1. We should have really put that game to bed. It was more the fact I couldn't really tell what they were doing. They've sort of brought in a lot of good names for the level, a lot of experience in there. But I feel they were being told to play a certain way, which looked evident quite early on that they just can't do. And they've got I feel like they've sort of got that losing culture still, of course, coming down from League One. They had a very tough time last season. I'll tell you what, I'm worried for Crawley at the minute as well.
Really?
That's one. We played them opening game of the season. We won 3-0. Again, it should have been about 6 or 7, but I think in terms of teams that I've seen come to Blundell Park, I think that Crawley squad are probably the worst I've seen for a long, long time.
Well, they played the bloody arts out against us, but that was because of the connection between the two clubs.
Lindsay connection, but I just don't think their squad is that good. There's a lot of risks in that squad. They brought in a player that hadn't played for a year. Just not for the fact he's been injured or anything like that. He just hadn't had a club. I think there's sort of those alarm bells around it, and I think there's the quality's lacking there. I think there's a few shouts. I think those 3 in particular are good shouts. I think Accrington will always struggle, but I think they're very capable of getting 1 or 2 wins that will just keep them above water. If you look at their squad.
Can I just say that everybody at home, if that's watching on tonight, obviously, no good putting it on if you're on watching it on whatever Aidan calls it.
Catch up,
yeah. Catch up, yeah. If you're watching it on catch up, put your predictions up and we'll read them out for you. And Jordan, it's that time of the day. We're going to ask you for your prediction. What sort of style do you think you're going to play? What do you rate the result will be?
I think in terms of style, we'll do what we've done in pretty much all our games so far, and that sort of being brave, aggressive. We'll certainly try to attack the game. I know you've mentioned that's what Cheltenham tried to do when they had their pants pulled down. We'll be trying to do that. I think I like to think we'll give it a better fist of it than what Cheltenham did. But that's the only way that I say the only way we play. It's not because we can change formation. But in terms, that's certainly what David Artell's style is. And that's what worked ever so well against Manchester United. We got into their faces. And as much as they didn't fancy it, we fancied it. And maybe I think that's sometimes played a part. Not to say that MK Dons won't fancy it. They're at home. And and they'll want the response after losing last week. It's the same for us. It's a new week, and we're just going to give it our best shot. We know we've got quality, and like I said, we don't fear it. We don't fear the challenge. I mean, especially I know Man United haven't had the best of times recently, but you mention the name Man United, you still think of one of the biggest clubs in the world. I think the biggest club in the country. And we really got at them. And for 60 minutes of that game, we were by far the better team. I think it was quite... I really didn't want the game on Tuesday to happen, really. I think the players could have done with that rest. Obviously, you could tell they sort of needed it. There was a few players that I expect to play Saturday that played yesterday, but they were taken off at like half-time, and I'm on 60 minutes at latest. So I expect them to be involved in that. I mean, going to Stadium MK, we have a pretty decent record against you anyway. In recent memory, from what I recall, I think it's been last 2 times we've been draws.
Last 3 times have been a 1-1 draw, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, we drew 0-0 last season, didn't we?
Or was it 0-0 last? Well, the last 3 have definitely been draws anyway.
Yeah, and then
last 3 definitely been draws.
And that was the day and then a week later we missed out on the playoffs to AFC Wimbledon, who beat us at Blundell Park.
That's it.
What were you doing, Jordan? You let us down.
You let us down. We were all supporting Grimsby.
Everyone was a Grimsby fan in Milton Keynes that day, I assure you.
I was eating fish, everything.
There was MK Dons fans that were painting down black stripes along with the white kits, probably. I think it was sort of that instance. But yeah, look, it's a big ground. We'll take a pretty good following. Probably won't be as big as a following last year, but we'll take pretty much close to 1,000. We know that we'll have a strong support, as we always do, sort of around that neck of the woods. But I'm not. I've said I'm big-headed at times, but I'm also a little bit of a realist. I think if you offered me a draw right now, I'd probably take it. As I see MK Dons in terms of squad-wise and ability, by far and away the best team in the league. So going to there and maybe picking up a draw wouldn't be the worst results in the world. But look, it sort of feels like very cliche or such like that. I can see us getting beat at times, but you know what? I can also go and see us winning it. It's one of those. Yeah, I think it'll be tight. I really do. I think they've always been sort of quite tight, these sort of games.
Well, last time we beat you at home, according to that comment from Ashley, 2007 was the last time we beat you at our place.
There you go. I was 4, so I'll be.
I remember us coming up to you last.
Thanks for making me feel old, Jordan. I appreciate it.
Didn't we come up to you last season and beat you, and all our fans were going, "What the hell happened there?"
Yeah, you beat us.
You were dreadful that day, as I remember.
We were doing all right. We were 1-0 up at half time, weren't we? Danny Rose.
Well, then you capitulated, didn't you?
Yeah, we sort of just fell apart. I think you sort of got us at the wrong time anyway, because I think it was like in the first few months of the season or so like that, and we were pretty slow starting before we sort of picked up at that point. So that was sort of the story of last season. There was quite a lot of sort of inconsistent performances at times, and that probably was enough that cost us in the end. I feel like I'm waffling on a little bit, and I've not really given you a proper answer for the score prediction, but I'm going to sit on the fence. I think, look, like I said, I'll take a point, but I think both teams will score, though. I can't see an instance in which both won. I think 1-1 is a sensible option, and then I'll be more than happy with that. Going on the face of it, going to a side like you at a ground like yourself with a manager Paul on and the players that you've got, we'll give them. I'd like to think we'll give you a game. If we just fall short, then so be it. But I feel confident we can get something, because, like I said, I don't think we fear anyone at the moment. We've got a very good bunch of lads who are hungry and want the best. So I'm looking forward to it. Actually,
go on, Aidan. What do you reckon?
Well, firstly, there's an interesting fact about last season's game against Grimsby away at Blundell Park. Was Harry Maguire was sitting not far away from myself and a few others in the
that's right,
end.
yeah.
But it proves he took no notice, made no notes for the game a few days ago, because he should have known what to expect. So, Mr. Maguire, if you're watching, shame. You didn't take the right notes and understand the style of play from Mr. Artell. But no, joking aside, Do you know what? I always hate, and I mean that in a nice way, playing Grimsby because it is never easy. Never easy, Cole. And as Ash just pointed out, 2007, I still had hair in a waistline back then. I'm torn because my head and my heart are telling me. My head's telling me 1-1 and a tough 1-1. And right, I'm going to tell you, right, I'm going to put my neck on the block. Dara Burns to score for Grimsby just because. Why wouldn't he?
Poetry in motion, isn't it?
Exactly. For me, it's set up for that. That said, I mean, when you look at Kane Wilson, the signings that we've got recently in the squad, we've got the capability to do something. We're going to hurt from that Walsall loss, which I think we deserved at least a point out of that.
Yeah.
So I can see this one potentially.
Danny Crowley's back.
Exactly, but I can see this being, if I'm rolling with my heart, a 2-1 to Dons, probably undeservedly. Yeah, an undeservedly 2-1 win that we probably should have been a draw, but I think we'll have the quality just to nick it. But then again, it's just it's Grimsby. It's Grimsby and
what he said, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's going to be very, very close. And I'm going to go for 2-1 to us as well. So, but it's going to be a coin toss. I'll tell you. Really, I reckon it'll be really tight.
Yeah, and I if he plays, I fancy Crowley to be on the score sheet for us, and obviously Evergreen Patterson. If
as long as Crowley doesn't use his hands again like he did at Notts County when we it looked like he was playing basketball. As long as that doesn't happen, I'm not really bothered, to be honest.
Okay.
And I fancy the ref is relatively new, Cole. I fancy quite a few cards and a few poor decisions in that game, but that's League Two for you.
I think our referee on Saturdays from Leicestershire.
There you go.
He's a bit of a newbie. I think he's had 7 or 8 games in the EFL, but you probably don't want to talk about it. But what's your opinion on the referees this season?
I mean, look, I was really not impressed with the one last week. Bristol Rovers. It's something about Bristol Rovers whenever we play them in terrible referees. I mean, 2015, the playoff final in the National League, their goalkeeper should have been sent off for a clear as day handball, but it didn't because it was apparently. I think he said something along the lines of it was the spirit of the game or something like that. It was too early. I think it was a very early call. Really? And even on Tuesday night or even last night against Bradford, I mean Henry Brown, young lad making one of his first starts for the club. I think
he got sent off, didn't he?
He got sent off for the cleanest tackle of a ball I think I've ever seen. I debate if it was even a foul. If anything, there was a challenge from one of our other youngsters. I think it was Fortuno now in like the first minute or two where he's proper gone in, stood up 2-footed. I think he got yellow carded for that. But I sort of looked at the times like, oh, that could have been a red. He was literally sent off just on player reaction, and that's just not right. I think there's been a few instances in which I've not impressed by. There's been maybe a couple that I think we've got a bit fortunate. We've had a lot of penalties. Yeah. A lot of penalties. I think we've had about 3 or 4 in the league already. We've not really taken advantage there on 2 of them.
Right, okay.
But I think a couple of them, I think you probably look at it and you're thinking, right, okay, they're quite. You certainly won't be happy if that happened against you.
No, well, we had a very dodgy penalty given to us against Newport. I mean,
Yeah, I saw
that. I think a lot of us looked at it and thought, well, if that's a penalty, good God, the game's finished. So
we've sort of had the best of both worlds at the minute, which it's still.
Well, I think we're about the same as you. Anyway, Jordan, time is a knocking on. I thank you for your attendance tonight. Good luck for the rest of the season. Obviously not Saturday. We can't do that.
Are you coming to the game, Jordan?
I'll be there, yeah.
Oh, well, you may see it.
Well, if you are there, Colin and I will be at the Casbah, Gate 7 by the Marshall Arena, so come and say hello.
Yeah, well, I think just very quickly as well, I think my mate went last time, or one of the last times. I think it was that place. He got something from me, said the burgers are there, are banging. So I'll be the Casbah. Yeah, I'll be having a look at there, see and see.
I mean, they sponsor us, so we can't run them down. But
no, I know the feeling.
Joking aside, I mean, like yourself, we go all around the country and some of it is, well, you wouldn't give it your dog, but the Casbah is epic. Brilliant food, and reasonably priced.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you come back on?
Yeah, of course.
When we're at your place, brilliant. All right.
Yeah, of course. If you want me to, I'm more than happy to.
Of
Absolutely.
course we will. Yeah.
And hopefully by then we'll know a bit more about where we sit as teams and what's going on.
Yeah, when we play you again, do you know?
It'll be, I think it's like late in the day, like February, March time or something.
Oh, crikey.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be right up the sharp.
Yeah.
We'll have a better idea what's going on by then.
Yeah, we could have both been promoted by then because we've been on unbeaten streaks respectively. Who knows?
Hopefully so.
But no, best of luck. Obviously, other than Saturday, but best of luck, Jordan, for the rest of the season. I think you're going to do some really good stuff this season. I generally rate you as a team that'll be up the top. So, looking forward to seeing how the season progresses for both of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me on as always. Of course.
All right.
Not for the game.
Thank you.
I'll see you later, guys. Take care.
Take care. Cheers, Jordan.
See you later.
Always
What
great.
a lovely guy.
Show. Always. He's 4-tier fever host.
We have some. Well, what do you expect? 4-tier fever, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, I go back to point. I think it's going to be tough. Every time we play Grimsby, I mean, other than the cup final,
we looked at these 3 games and we knew it was going to be hard, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, if I would have said before the Walsall game, we'd have got 6 from 9 points, I'd have been over the moon. I mean, if we got 4 from 9, it's not ideal, but it's still respectable. But if we lose on the weekend, I think I will be scratching my head because Grimsby will, I think, perversely, will be a tougher test for us than Walsall. But I think the Walsall result will get a reaction out of our players to make sure that we do the business that we need to do.
That is my thinking as well. So, anyway, do you want to read some of the anything on the socials?
That was it. We're up to date with the comments. No one else has dared to put a score up. Cole dares to put a score. So, anyone else wants to put a score prediction up or anything else? Any other business?
No, nobody's gone home or anything like that and left us.
Not yet. We've still got a fair few watching. So. Yeah, I know. Like I say,
have we had an update on James's bed? Has he made it yet?
James has not updated us about his bed making skills or his update on his food. Or I don't even think he's watching, Cole. So he'll have to watch it on catch up. I'm sure he'll watch it back when he's caught up with everything he's trying to do for the house viewing tomorrow. Bless him. Colin's on Facebook. Evening, Colin. Thanks for watching. He said 2-1 win. Colin Gids 2-1 win for Dons. I'm taking that. But yeah. I think that's what if we got a 2-1 win, I'd be over the moon with that, Cole. A win's a win, and a well-fought win would be nice to see. Mick's come on and said 3-1 or 3-2 win potentially. Yeah, it's going to be close. But interest, isn't it? We're probably all going to be wrong. We're going to win 5-0. That'd be lovely, wouldn't it? But there we go.
Or lose 2-0. Then we'll be really scratching our heads here next week.
No, thank you. No, I don't want to take another loss.
I mean, you've got it going through on the bottom of the thing. Next week, we're on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I say it's on the ticker tape at the bottom of the screen. But next Tuesday show, not next Wednesday, because one of us is going on a late summer/autumn holiday, Cole, to see his other team. That'll be me. Yeah. I'll be speaking German and going to see my other home team.
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing. Yeah. Have you got to make your bed before you go?
No. It's all right, Carl. I just got to drive my car to the Channel Tunnel in Folkestone, get across. I always love driving. Actually, I really enjoy it. If you ever get the chance to drive in Europe for a holiday, do it.
I've done it a few times.
So much more.
Done it a few times.
Yeah, so now I'll be over there to watch Borussia Mönchengladbach. So hopefully they win.
Once I worked out how to go roundabouts, I was as good as gold, mate.
Thank you. Yeah. So all that oncoming traffic when everyone else is going the wrong way, not me. There we go. Sheila just came on. She said a very interesting guest is Jordan. So thank you for that, Sheila. Yeah, he's a lovely guy. Jordan, as I say, does 4th-tier fever with our very own Luke Payne. So very knowledgeable guy, but big Grimsby fan, great knowledge. Thank you again, Jordan, if you're watching this back. Really appreciate it as well. But I don't know, Cole. I mean, after that, obviously we'll talk about Chesterfield next week, but that's not an easy one either.
No, to
be honest, and that again, no game is easy in League Two, but I think the run of these particular 3. Wouldn't say I've come at the wrong time. I would like to have seen it a little bit later in the season, maybe, or broken up a bit. But every game's a test, ultimately, mate. So we need to put a statement of intent back to the League Two.
I've no doubt we're going to be going through. We're on show 43 now. By the time we get into the mid-50s, we're going to be sitting here thinking, "Oh, here's another tough game," And like I've said, I believe that we've got a target on our back, not just because we're the MK Dons and all
Everyone
the
hates us,
silly talk that goes on about that, but people are going to be looking at us and think, "Oh Christ, Jordan said it tonight. Their squad is just ridiculous, and they'll want to beat us. They'll lift their game. Look at Crawley,
Yeah, and that's what I mean. I still think Dara will score. I genuinely do. I've had that gut feel for weeks that he'll come on and do it. But like I say, I just think again, you look on. I hate saying that cliche term, Colin, on paper, but look around the dressing room. There is enough depth and quality there to frighten people, and it excites me. Genuinely, this is probably the first season since the Manning season where we nearly went up that I've been that excited about a squad and our prospects. I could be wrong. We could have 18th at the end of the season. Who knows?
I'll say it again. If we don't go up, it'll be bloody crime and a mystery.
If we didn't go up, again, we'll come to that, and hopefully we don't get to this conversation. But I'd still stick with Warren. I'd still stick with him. You need to allow someone time, but I think we've got enough. I call it the cheat code, Cole, because we spent the money and brought.
People have said that we're a bit of a cheat code this season, aren't we?
But I take that with a slice of humility. I'm staying humble. I don't think we're going to run away with it, as some people think.
I must admit, it is quite nice when we get guests coming on and they go, your squad's ridiculous. And I sit here going.
Well, last season they were saying it for a very different reason. So there we go. But I will say, to your point, just before we go to a few more comments and wrap up, but this whole thing about Dons and no one likes it, a lot of people I've spoken to at the away games from a lot of different, again, Barrow, from Newport, places that have actually said they really don't dislike us. They think we're all right. Obviously, there's the history thing, but I think
I think we've done a lot, me and you, to heal relationships.
Well, we have. Maybe not with an SW postcode, but
I think people might come on here and think, "Oh, there's a couple of decent guys."
We try. Unless they know us well, then they realise we're not. But there we go. I joke. Another comment we've got come in here from Grant. He said Crewe beat Chesterfield 7-1 in the week. That's true. They did.
Oh, in the trophy, yeah.
I mean, that'd be nice for the weekend. If we get 7-1, Grant, I'll buy you a burger.
Yeah, I'll say that.
Exactly. And also, we've got here from Matt. He said, our former players always seem to score against us. I agree with Aidan that Burns will score. Again, I know Don's probably still watching. Don obviously is our Irish guru when it comes to the guys, Shamrock, and obviously what's going on with Dara as well, moving to Germany. But that's November, by the way. I completely forgot, and thank you for reminding me, Don. Obviously, the Irish football season is slightly different to ours, so it's November move for him. But I was never overly impressed with Dawson Devoy. I thought he was okay, but I didn't really see much. I was more impressed with Dara, and to see that he's come on this season, built himself up, and is making a nuisance.
And he turned down Irish football, didn't he? What, did he go back to the EFL?
He did, and fair play to him. I mean, again, lovely chap. Because when we went to the player sponsorship evening, he was always joking about he couldn't even boil an egg and having a laugh and a joke and stuff. But he's got a great personality. He's got a lot of quality. But I think when he was with us, we just said he wasn't quite physical enough, and maybe that was one of the reasons he was shipped out. But if he's rectifying that, I can see him going on to better things, Cole. And I hope he does. But I hope he doesn't score against us on the weekend. But I think he will.
Okay. So, are you gonna any more comments?
That's it. I think that's it.
You mean we can go on now?
You've never told me about this transfer window. Anyway, I asked you a question at the start of the show, and you haven't answered it yet.
What was that?
So the transfer window. We talked about obviously Kane Wilson, but now the window's shut. And anyone listening, please feel free to join in on this. Who has been your standout player? I mean, again, there are a few, but if you were pushed, Mendes Lang aside, because everyone's going to say that, who do you think out of that squad has really impressed you as a signing, but also on the pitch?
Well, obviously, I've done the pre-season friendlies, and I saw Collins.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, I know you're playing Itching Town and all the rest of it and all that, but I was mega impressed with what he can do. But no, I mean, he can't come back quick enough for me. So if he's back for Chesterfield, fantastic. But the one for me, I mean, I don't know an awful lot about Kane Wilson. I mean, I know his reputation. He's obviously dropped down 2 divisions and all this, that, and the other. He's got the pedigree. The man for me is Patterson.
Yeah.
What I've seen of him, he's an intelligent player. I'm afraid on Saturday, some of our players didn't realise how intelligent he. I mean, he had 2 knockdowns across the goal line, and nobody gambled. If that had been Maxi Dean, we'd have had a couple of goals there because Maxi Dean was a gambler. But Patterson's only got 1 T, by the way.
Don't listen, Don's Unplugged viewers. He's only teasing. It's fine.
So no, but Patterson for me is a really intelligent player. He's very strong. I just think he's one of the best players that we've signed in many a year, not just this season. Many a year.
Okay.
I like Hepburn Murphy as well. I like Mendes Lang, obviously.
You're going to go around the whole team now.
I was going to say Ekpiteta. I can see he's a decent player. I'm not sold on him at the moment, but if we had him last season, he'd probably stand out more. But looking forward to Kane Wilson. Kelly feels like a bit of a new signing.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's not, but I mean, Kelly's come back this season and looks a different player, like the Pelly we knew. Yeah.
There goes crazy. Collins for injury. Currently, Jones thinks he's the best right back we've had since. Yeah, well, got to prove it. Got to prove it, Craig, I guess. But we shall see. Again, Russell said Patterson.
Yeah.
Grant says Patterson and Collins.
Yeah, Patterson's getting some.
We've got some on the Facebook as well. So Ollie the Legend Welch has said Big Marv. Alongside Sanders has made our defence even more solid. Colin Gibbs
Sanders has been a revelation, and I hate to say this. If we lost Sanderson, God Almighty, with injury,
I did say to you last season, I said he's going to be a big player for us, and everyone laughed at me.
I'm touching wood. I'm touching wood. We don't
I
want to lose him. Bloody hell.
I will draw out. I think it was about March. There was a Don's Unplugged show, and I said he'll be a big signing for us. I said I'm really impressed with him. And everyone said you're mad, Aidan. So I'm glad that it's been proven right.
We know you're mad.
Oh, I know I'm mad. Yeah, exactly. But I had a feeling he was going to do what. Again, he had a few hits and miss, but we had a poor team last season. Colin Gidd said, "Will Kane Wilson play Saturday?" I think so, Colin. I think he's been relatively match fit. He played for Wigan, so I think he'll be in the team.
It seems like the right thing to do.
I think so, and I think
I would start him.
I think he could be the difference, Cole. He can cause a lot of trouble. Ollie says, I say Big Marv. I can't pronounce his surname yet. Right. We'll do it together, Ollie. After 3. 3, 2, 1. Ekpiteta. And the way I remember it is thinking of the word heck, but drop off the her. So it's ek. And then not beans, peas, and potatoes, teta. That's how I remember it. Ekpiteta.
What?
Well, it's one of those. It's not an easy one to remember. You've got to remember these things.
Right.
Can
everybody remember Patterson has only got 1 T in it?
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Cole. We didn't realise that. But no, I think for me, it's really tough. It's really tough. I think my most improved player in the squad, if we were doing this as if it was a school grade, would be not Patterson. Sorry, Sanders in defence. I think from last season to this, it's been a massive uplift, and I think for us, he is almost, and I don't want to jinx it here, but becoming that kind of darling player that bit of physicality, keeps that back line calm. I was worried, I'll be honest with you, and you probably laugh at this, but when Louis
went, yeah.
No, because he was playing, but because you had that leadership in the dressing room. And I feel like Sanders and McGivery, particularly, those two are real leaders on the pitch, and there's a real calmness there. I think for me, Patterson's the one that has excited me. And again, Yes, he's come down from the Championship, but you can take the player out of the Championship, but you can't take the Championship out of the players. The way I'm looking at it, really intelligent, really intelligent.
That's a nice saying.
Well, there you go. And other than that, I mean, again, same as Ash. I really like Hepburn Murphy. I think he needs to.
You've been out with him for a drink yet?
Not yet. Give it time. But no, I think he needs to tidy up his game in front of goal, but that will come. But his pace and everything else, I've really been impressed with the guy. Generally, one of those players that excites me. So I think, but again, you can sit there and talk about the whole squad. But no, for me, Patterson, like everyone else, love the guy. I think he'll do well this season for us if he keeps fit. Sanders at the back. And I will say, special mention, although he's not a signing of late, he's been with us a little while, but he's made a big comeback, is Mr. Craig McGivery as well. I think he has been really impressive in the sticks. And that shouldn't be forgotten. Sometimes he can be an unsung hero, but some of the saves he's made this season, Cole, have been brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
For some strange reason, I've gone very pale.
You've got bright lights. There we go. Ollie.
I don't quite. Oh, that's a bit better.
There we go.
And then, I have to get more makeup on before the show.
Yeah, and as I say, Ollie's just said, forget basically elocution lessons there, mate. Big Marv sounds better, so we'll stick with Big Marv if that's what makes you feel good, Ollie. We'll stick with that, mate. But again, I think he'll grow into it, Cole, and I think he'll be an important signing for us. And again, him offered. Sanders, then you've got Maguire coming back. It's actually nice to have a headache about.
I think Maguire's going to struggle to get back in the team.
I think he will. But again,
like Thompson, when Thompson came in, we thought, "Oh my God, what a player!" And now you've got to look at it and think, "Well, if he comes back, where's he going to play?"
Yeah. I mean,
so we have got a wealth.
Yeah, exactly. So I think with the season goes on, there's injuries, there's cup games, etc. So
suspensions, all sorts of rubbish. So
anyway, kept you up past your bedtime, Cole.
I'm sorry.
It's all that red wine. It's all that red of this Chateau.
I've got to make me bed before getting it.
Well, exactly. Maybe give James a call and tell you how to do it.
Yeah, we could give bed making lessons, can't we?
We could do. But no, other than that,
everybody must wonder what the hell we're going on about.
What they tuned into. But no, like I say, I think if we did a report card on the season so far, I'd give us a B+, doing well, but we could do a bit more. But again, I'm being uber critical there, Cole, but I've been impressed with everything. I've even been impressed when we lost to Walsall. I can't argue. Warney's been in. We've been unbeaten until last weekend. He's been impressive. The squad's impressive. The owners have put their money where their mouth is. Dare I say it, Ollie Welch, I might be drawing out, drum rolls, that promotion cigar. It might be coming out this season.
And I've got mine ready.
There you go. Smoke it on the pitch. Probably get fobbed off a bit, but there we go.
My plan is still to meet everybody in the centre circle in May or April at last go, and then up to Fleetwood for the promotion party.
Well, there we go.
That's the dream. Right. Is that it?
That's it. I think there's no more comments. We're all good, Cole.
Everybody's gone to bed.
Everyone's heading off to bed. But I shall see you Saturday outside Gate 7 at the Casbah. Harry,
will you be wearing your Dons Unplugged up?
Of course I will. But Harry will be. I know you've been watching again. Thanks for watching to everyone. But Harry, come and see Colin and I at the Casbah about 2:00 on Saturday. We've got a few things for you, mate. Like I say,
and also those other people that haven't picked up their acts yet, I'll be there at 2:00 on Saturday. Come and see me, and I'll give you your Unplugged hat.
And if you haven't got one, you'd like one, come and see Mr. Butler. I'm sure he can sort you out.
Well, I could sort a lot of things out, but that could be one of them.
Could be one of them. There we go.
Right, okay. Well, thanks for watching. Don't forget, we're back next Tuesday night at 7:45. We're not on Wednesday. We're on Tuesday next week because Aidan's going on holiday. And, he's not like me. Can't sit in a caravan on a Wednesday night and do the broadcast.
Some of us have to go and see our other home team, so I'm bound by it and family commitments. But there we go.
Thanks, Stephen. Good night, legends. And on that note, all I've got to say is say good night, Aidan.
Good night, Aidan.
Take care. See you Saturday. Come on, you Dons.
Come on, you Dons, and here's to a win, Cole. Here's to a win. Fingers
Indeed.
crossed.
Come on!
Come on, you Dons. See you Saturday.
Bye.